So you see with county lines, yeah. This is what I'm trying to like get to young people into their mindset. Yeah. What is it that attracts you to it?
Well, I guess county lines not with me because like for other young people.
Yeah. From your experiences and whatnot.
I would say first it would be the money thing, and two, I guess the thrill of it as well. Do you know what I mean? Like where there's, you're just literally going out wherever you're going to and you're doing your thing. Do you know what I mean? And you feel like you've got some type of power because usually they got the young people with a phone or whatever and they're like, doing whatever. They're chilling, they got money for food sometimes as well and so forth. So they're good, do you know what I mean?
And
so
then the reality
that's the part of it because sometimes young people they didn't even get that from home. So when you're going out to these county lines and you're getting like you got money for food every day, you're smoking as well. If you're smoking, you're gonna have cannabis around you, whatever. Do you know what I mean? So when you got them things, it's like like why am I not gonna go and do what I'm gonna do because I'm getting these things with it as well that I can't get from home. So it's like bread, I'm getting bread from it and I'm getting money whatever I need while I'm there as well. So why not? Even sometimes they got them in hotels or whatever, so it's like then me staying at my parents', of course. Come on, I'm not gonna think twice about that. And then
when the reality hits of it,
it's like I'm just being used, you know what I mean? And like what's this little change and it's like it's getting long because then people wanna be robbing you and you know what I mean, cats wanna be trying to set you up and things like that, and then that's when they get serious because it's like it's not one of them ones where you're just going out on the roads and you're just licking dots. There's more to it because there's people that are going to want to take your life.
Yeah.
And especially when there's other daughters that are in that area.
Other
daughters, everyone's like you got.
One second. Sorry, Latrice. Daughters.
Urban Dictionary.
Urban Dictionary. Welcome to Urban Dictionary. The word we are going to explain to you now is daughters, aka shoppers. This is what we refer to as a drug dealer, your local hood pharmacist. Sorry, continue. So you were saying it gets real.
It gets real. Like there's more to it, you know what I mean? Like because sometimes when you're in a bando, they call it as well, like a trap house, the niggas yard. You don't know when that just gonna get beaten. So like
and you don't know whether it's feds or someone else.
So it's like it gets to a point where you you're not even sleeping. When you're out in the countryside, you're not sleeping. That phone's going off day to night.
Yeah.
So you're on, you know what I mean? You ain't hardly getting any sleep.
I remember I was in a trap,
So.
Not saying where, but it was it was a coastal town or city. Yeah. They had a Premier League club at the time. Anyway. Yeah.
Bro.
Bruv, this yard was so bad. Yeah. I literally had to stand in one corner because it was the cleanest corner. For the whole, it's the first day I got there. Boom. I said, I'm not staying another night. Did you see bed bugs or not? I didn't sleep nowhere.
No, I'm saying, did you see bed bugs?
Bed bugs, bro. I see roaches and that. And there was it was super bando. Like I'm talking bando. Like you didn't want to move because you move and you feel like you got dirty. Yeah. But I'm saying that was like, why am I leaving my nice warm bed? My PlayStation and that.
That's where
for this.
That's where they would have some young people. Like if it's not a hotel, like
you're in the bando. If you're in a hotel, you're lucky.
You ain't sleeping.
Like you're open lucky,
you're
but
up.
That's a luxury.
You have to be up as well if you're in any job because them.
You don't know what they're on.
But
they are. But at the same time, what I've come to realise is they're vulnerable people themselves.
He's like, let me just make that clear for the record. That was not me.
But I mean, like, we have to look at we call them nitties, the crack or whatever cats, but they're vulnerable people. They have drug habits that they have to. They depend upon. They're dependent upon these things.
Especially with the dealers, most of the time they treat the nitties so bad. So of course you're gonna, what you think because the dealers think, we can take the piss out of these nitties and that they're not gonna do nothing. You got the mad nitties where they'll call up another dealer or something I've got
in my house.
Boom. I mean that's how crazy nitties are. That's why sometimes you have to keep them sweet. But if you mess with a nitty, they're gonna fuck your shit up without you even noticing because you're thinking, nitty, what they're gonna do.
Facts.
It's very true.
Some will actually physically come for you and some will actually be like, like what you think, you could come up in my yard and take the piss.
Exactly.
Say nothing, wanna set your ass up. I mean, that's why some like they think they could take the piss so much, like being buried to the nitties and that, and then they get stabbed in their back.
If you don't mind sharing, what was your worst experience about county lines?
Well, obviously I got stabbed myself in it, so I would say that was the worst experience of it. So, yeah. But there was all like at first when I first started and stuff like that.
Wait, hold on. You just brushed it off.
Yeah.
I just got stabbed.
It comes nothing to me.
But that's what I'm saying though. This is the reality of young people now, right? We're so desensitized to everything. We're so like even taking it back to prison experiences as well. We was talking to somebody who was like, I saw someone fully cut up next to me, and it was calm. Like I've seen stuff like that before. I've been stabbed, so it's no different. Like it's nothing to me. And it's like this generation, everything they go through, and these traumatized and vulnerable young people, like they're so desensitized. And
I think there's a lot of trauma.
I try to look at things as well, like myself. I try to always look at things in a positive way, because at the end of the day, I did nearly lose my life if I didn't make the hospital in time. So I have to look at it in that way. I did not lose my life.
Yeah, that's
you
the
know
positive.
And I'm here today, so there was something that I've got more that I need to do in this life.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? And I was given that chance, so I have to always look at things in that way. And if I dwell on it, it ain't gonna really, help anything. So I have to look at things positively. Even up to now, when certain things happen, like I've been burgled, I've had things happen where I just want to end it all there. Do you know what I mean? But I have to look at it like well, at least my life ain't as bad as certain people, because
it could be worse.
I've got my legs, I've got my feet, I'm walking, I'm breathing, I'm
and you have to give thanks for that. Yes.
That some people don't have that motivation or that courage to do. Do you know what I mean? And it's like you got
something here, you got a purpose.
Sometimes you just got to count your blessings, innit?
Facts.
Look at what you have got instead of what you ain't got.
And that's what's gonna make you more appreciative in life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because as human beings, like there's a saying that man will never be content.
Even some dumb things, you know what I mean, that you do, like sometimes you have to look at it as that happened for a reason, because you know what to do next time, so you don't do that dumb thing. Do you know what I mean? And if you didn't learn that, you would probably do that dumb thing down the line, and then it will be kind of too late to do that, So it's like sometimes it's like stupid things that you do sometimes, it's good to do it at that time.
Because that molds you for the future, and you can learn from your past mistakes.
But that's something that I think that we really push with the Young Justice Advisors as a whole, is that your experiences are your superpowers. That's what we go by. That's our little tagline.
Love that.
I've TM'd it, everything.
Trademark.
No, not yet.
Don't steal that.
Don't steal it.
Don't keep it.
But I was thinking about myself. Listen, do you know what? I know now. That if it comes up anywhere, it's gonna be you.
Listen, don't worry, it ain't coming out yet.
No. This is proof that you.
First. But no, literally, so it's something that we try to encourage, is that your experiences, whether that's in care, whether that's in custody, whatever it is, they are your superpowers. You can learn from them, and you can use them to do so many positive things that you didn't even think about. Because even if, for example, with myself, I've got youth justice experience, and then when I was younger, so from 14 to 16, I went through exploitation. Obviously, we were chatting off camera about my area, and that is very much
a drugs area. It's a drug area.
Very coastal.
It's interesting. We'll go interesting. We'll go with interesting. We'll go with interesting and stuff like that, And even those experiences, looking back now, it's enabled me to be able to relate to Latrice or chat to someone or have those conversations on a level where, at the time, I was in a certain place mentally, but realistically, when you look at it and you learn from your experiences, you're then able to utilize them to have these conversations
100%.
that you might be able to have, and even you two as well. Do you know what I mean? Bringing us on, talking to these two, especially relating them experiences, wouldn't be doable with a white geezer in a suit. Do you know what I mean? Let's be honest.
It's true, because obviously that's the thing that I'm about, is about placing that value on lived experience, from any walk of life. You know what I'm saying? If you've got a certain experience that you can share and it can benefit people, that has value. Now, whether society or the powers that be value or not, I don't give a damn. But I'm on some, you got to value that
100%.
yourself. Because then means when you come to the table, know that your lived experience is part of what you're bringing.
Self-worth and self-worth.
100%. So let's get into the deal a bit. You know what I'm saying?
Let's say
don't think you're gonna just gonna come out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. What was you up to then when you was?
So anyway, no comment. We good?
No comment.
No comment. Say that. So So Mo, I remember we was talking, yeah, and we've actually done time in the same jails, like, at different times, but we've been to two prisons.
Yeah.
So like, that was your first time, right?
Yeah.
Take me through the journey now, yeah?
Yeah, go on.
Cool. So, did you go court first?
Yeah.
Alright, cool. So you're in court.
Yeah, cool.
And you're thinking, what were you thinking at the time?
I can't lie at the time, because I've been caught quite a few times.
You thought you're going home, innit?
Yeah, bro, like, honestly.
No bail!
Nah, listen,
Just
yeah.
jail!
That's the one you should be trained
Hey,
for.
listen, you see that one there, yeah? You see that one there?
Oh,
Like,
man.
we were in the court cells, no bail, just
jail.
That's all that used to ring out. Like, yeah, go on.
But
So.
man, listen, yeah, that because I've been quite a few times, my solicitor would always like pattern it. It'd be like, it's just a traumatized young kid kind of thing. It's all like that, and the judges are like allowing it, like a little yacht or like probation or something.
Okay.
This time, because I breached it previously, like the judge wasn't like having it kind of thing, because it was a suspended.
What crown court was you at, if you don't mind me asking?
Canterbury.
Okay.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
Canterbury.
That's like Kent ways, no?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's got university.
Yeah. My cousin's actually there right now. Yeah, man.
that's what I'm
Study
saying, bro.
hard, boy.
Man was meant to do that journey, bro, when I was saying about the college.
You can still go back there,
Still
bro.
go back. Never
Never
too late, man.
Never too late,
Never
bro.
too
I know
late.
people that are in their 40s, they're still going to you. Yeah, bro. You're
Never
never
too
too
late.
old to learn.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? So.
But man, so man's in court now.
Yeah.
Things were looking alright until my probation worker started talking, obviously, and then
the probation, what they call pre-sentence report.
Yeah, bro. And do you know what she did? We actually had a conversation, me and my probation worker, about all of this like incident. Like she was trying to say I won't come in and that.
Yeah.
So she actually got somehow she got like a transcript of the whole conversation.
No.
I don't know how she did it.
No.
A few things were said, obviously, in that conversation on the phone.
Yeah.
Didn't help me kind of thing.
So basically, she set you up.
Kind of, basically, bro. Yeah.
So were you? Wait, hold on, Miss Woman.
Yeah, it was a woman.
Okay, so Miss Probation Officers called you and wasn't like, oh yeah, by the way, like this convo's been recorded.
Nah, bro, she didn't let me know nothing.
And that indismissible, so
inadmissible. Yeah.
Inadmissible, that's the word.
Technically.
You was almost there. You was almost
I tried though, innit?
Yeah, you tried.
I tried,
You did well,
man.
man.
Shit.
You did well.
Thank you, man. I tried a little
Wow. So you had a convo. You're thinking this is off the record. It's just between you and my probation.
Nah, the conversation what I had didn't get me recalled, didn't it?
Okay.
I mean, didn't get me in jail.
Yeah.
But it didn't help.
Yeah.
Because I was.
It made it worse.
Yeah, because she breached me because of not coming, like turning up kind of thing. But at the time, I just lost like quite a close family member.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it's cool, man. It's cool. It was the beginning of like 2020, just before COVID. So obviously, I wasn't in the best of places. I should have let her know. To be fair, I didn't let her know, but it's because I don't really like
Express.
her, yeah, I just don't really like probation, obviously. So
And I used to work for a charity, and we focus on the interactions between people on probation, as they're now called POPs. There's always a new.
No, they're called now. I thought those service users to change it now.
POPs, but people on probation, but I don't know, man. Whatever the industry goes.
But at least they're calling them people.
Yes,
Yeah.
and you know that word that we don't like.
Yeah.
That word.
Yeah.
But then I have a question though, because like I know this is like digressing a little bit.
That's no
So
problem.
obviously within like you guys, you talk about ex-conversations being about ex-offenders.
Yeah.
Like how do you feel about the word like ex-offender? Because I know I have my own thoughts, and from engaging with people in prison, I have their thoughts.
Yeah.
So like, how did you guys come up with that? Sorry, I know this is
No, that's good.
Like-
That's good. So obviously we're ex-conversation, so like ex-con's the play on word, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like ex-convict, but that's more American term. But ex-offender's what they use here.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I don't mind it if it comes with the connotation that the offender part of my life is over.
Okay.
Do you get what I'm saying? But that is not even implied by ex-offender. It's like, oh, what did you do?
Yeah.
Do you understand? But I don't know what the word that we should be used is, because I could say lived experience of the criminal justice system, but that's a mouthful. If like instead of ex-offender, do you get what I mean?
Or what about like just someone with justice experience?
There you go.
Like,
I have experience in the justice.
That's
of
it.
Justice.
Do you know what I mean? Like, but then again, that comes from that like, because even I guess I'll put my 2 pence in just because I can. But you know, like we were talking about our labelling and how that goes. I think obviously offender itself is a label and it's a word that I can't stand. But then also ex-offender is still connected to it. Do you know what I mean? And then you're still putting people in a bracket. So it's like, you know, when you know, like even for example, when you apply for funding, do you work with ex-offenders?
Yeah.
No, I work with people who have justice experience.
Yeah.
And like I had a conversation recently with someone, and you know, like I had to draw them out a little bit, just a little bit.
Yeah.
And there's like, you know, we want to create like a justice space for ex-offenders. And I was like, okay, so you want to create a space for people with justice experience?
Yeah.
And it was like, yeah, like ex-offenders. And I was like, no. Justice experience. Like, it's still the same thing. It's two syllables.
I like that.
Do you know what I mean?
I prefer that. Honestly, I prefer it. It's just about now we've got to be strong enough to like compel the industry, that the sector we're in, to follow that, because like service user is what come about, I think, as one of those kind of, you could attach it instead of saying ex-offender, but it doesn't really give the person that value.
No.
Like that I'm trying to. That's why I'd rather say they got lived experience, and we value that.
Definitely.
But it's justice experience. That's a nice one. Still.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I might have to
trademark
we might have to switch up like some of the descriptions and things like that.
Do you know what it is? It's like, it's just because like for, obviously even for myself, like we did we gave evidence for the Justice Select Committee. So we spoke about like the impact of COVID on the youth justice system, and then also like the youth justice system as a whole and how it should work, right?
Yeah.
So they quoted me in their press release, and like when they quoted me, it was like Canadian Smith ex-young offender. I said, huh?
Wow.
I said, huh? Pardon? Excuse me? You know, like I was just drawing them out on text. I was like, I was like, listen, if we're publishing that and you're running with it, you're changing that, because I'm not an ex-young offender. That was 10 years ago. I'm 25 now.
There you go.
And I've achieved more in 10 years than a lot of these people have achieved in 20 or 30.
And don't bring that label from that 10 years ago and think that defines me, because it don't.
Exactly, like, and especially with that label in particular, that was at a really turbulent and traumatic time of my life. Do you know what I mean? So for me, when that was happening, it's like, why are you bringing that with me? That stigma. I don't need that, you know.
Facts.
So like, it's just the whole ex-offender thing. Just thought I'd ask about it.
It rubs me up too. I can't lie, it does. Especially like, it's the one. Have you got any criminal convictions? You're like, I'm like, how long you got? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, all right. So, like, we were just touching on like your experiences. Now, for you, Mo, obviously you went to prison.
Yeah.
What was the turning point for you? And was like, look, I've got to nip this in the butt. How did that come about? Like your transition?
Well, I can't lie. Since I landed jail, I was thinking like, what the fuck is this? Like, obviously, I knew jail was jail, but I just don't really like. I can't lie. Like, I can do my bird, innit? Like,
but it's not for you, innit?
Yeah, I just don't like living like that kind of thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, guards trying to violate, getting, obviously canteen's cool, but like trying to give you little food and that there and there. That I'm like, nah, man.
It's not the life, innit?
Yeah, that was dirty. Nah, to be fair, most of the jails I were in were kind of clean, but some of them were a bit scrubby. Yeah, man. I just hated living like it.
Just to tap into what you were just saying there, how did you find that when you first actually went into jail? So you went into the induction wing and everything else. What was you feeling at that moment?
I was feeling like, obviously, like, I wouldn't say nervous, but on edge. Because obviously I had never been in that kind of environment before. All I knew was kind of like what people have said on films, to be fair. So I was a little bit on edge, but obviously within a couple of days I knew the pattern kind of thing. I knew everything was cool. But yeah, my first night was a weird night. I just remember like them giving me like some kind of like pack thing, obviously, with towels. Man had like...
You've got a towel pack, that's
good. Obviously with the bed sheet and that.
Yeah, like them beds.
Yeah, you get the bedding pack.
It's like, where was my towel?
You
got your bedding pack.
Them orange itchy blankets, for some reason.
The orange blanket.
Why do they always itch?
We call that the dog blanket.
The dog blanket. You gotta get your hand to get your own.
You know what you do with that? You make that on the mattress and then put a sheet under it.
Yeah, trust
so
me,
it's like a bit more comfortable, and then you use the sheet.
It's weird though. It's only in Cat B's you get them blankets as well.
Yeah, that's standard issue, innit?
Yeah,
they get made in prison, you know.
Yeah.
There's prisoners that make that.
It makes sense why it's itching.
So like even that, so all those experiences, you know, that is that what like made you think, you know, this ain't for me.
Yeah, kind of thing.
And then coming out, what was it for you that was difficult or easy in that transition?
What I found difficult was like someone actually giving me that kind of opportunity, because I've always wanted to do like youth work.
Okay.
Along that kind of line.
Okay.
So obviously with a DBS, there's nothing major on my DBS. There's a few obviously little minor incidences before 18, and then obviously a tenant supply after 18. But
Class B.
Class B, Class B. But yeah,
which is illegal in
basically
illegal in certain countries.
What I found difficult was basically just getting an opportunity kind of thing.
Yeah.
But luckily, I got an opportunity. Yeah.
And you're rocking with it to the fullest. Love that. And that's where the YJA comes in. You know what I'm saying? So with you, Latrice, what was it for you that made you want to turn it around?
Well, obviously my future, the things that I want to do in my life and stuff like that, I just knew that I wouldn't get to where I need to get to if I just kept on with the life that I was leading. Because if I ended up in jail in the end, I never went to jail or anything like that, but with my situation, I ended up with a 2 year suspended sentence. And because of my age, they mainly get you to be like, you know, go to college and so forth.
They offered you like support.
Yeah, and then they'll get off your back. But I had like a police officer at that time that will come check up on me and stuff like that. But I guess that life all in all is just, it ain't gonna really get you anywhere. And it's like you'll always be looking over your shoulder and stuff like that. And it's long. So I had to look at the positive things that I wanted to do in my life and how I'm gonna get there. You know, I have to change. I can't be stuck in that cycle because I'm just gonna continuously be used.
So in leaving that cycle, did you have the support that you needed?
Well, obviously me getting into care, that was one of the main things that, you know, led me into the direction and where I am now. Because like getting involved with the care council and then getting the job that I've got now and getting involved with Leaders Unlocked, you know, I wouldn't have got that if I didn't end up in care as well.
So that's a positive from the care system.
Yeah, from the care system. Like I was given opportunities that I feel I wouldn't have given. I wouldn't have been given if, you know, I kind of didn't go down the path that I went down. So and I would have still been leading that life, because especially with my family and stuff like that. That side of things, like if I was in the same type of environment, the same type of home, I'm gonna be in that same mindset and you know, like not wanting to always rely on my family, because like my parents and stuff, because in general with me, I like to be independent. I don't want to rely on people, because when you do, you're not really gonna get anywhere. And especially with your family, sometimes you don't have family there that you can fall back on and know that if you get into a situation, you can rely on them. So it's like I had to, you know, look at certain things and be like, take that personal responsibility. And it's like me leaving my family home at the same time was a positive thing for me, because I wouldn't have learned the stuff that I've learned now, like with life, you know, like budgeting and, you know, buying food and buying my clothes and, you know, all these type of things.
All these life skills that you need. Without doubt. Love that. So now incorporating all your experiences, this is where you come in with the youth justice advice, the young, hit me. The young justice advisor.
I'll just hit you with the evil.
I know. The young justice advisor. So like you guys have launched your resources for young people in the care system and in prison. So how did that come about?
So we, like I said at the beginning, like we noticed that there was like a massive gap across care and justice when it comes to the information that's provided to young people. So in particular, when there's kind of like the three areas. So there's the care system itself, which doesn't provide really any information, like as a whole. So about what your entitlements are, what your rights are, anything like that. Then we have, so that's like your guide to the care system. Then we have your guide to the female estate. So the reason that come about was a piece of work that we've done with NHS England, where we was looking at the experiences of girls in the youth justice estate, so under 18s, and the fact that when you are under 18, as soon as you hit 18, you pretty much end up in the female estate. There's no go between.
Yeah, there's no
so
between. Right.
For boys, obviously,
there's that white young
there's
offenders.
18 to 21. Yeah. You know, you have that little transitionary period before you go big man jail.
Yeah.
Like for girls, there's nothing like that, and that's purely based off of the numbers that girls that are in the system.
So like you go straight from like young offenders to adult. That's it.
Yeah.
There's no.
So you go straight from like, for example, the secure estate, so secure care home, straight into an adult female prison.
Wow.
And we noticed that there was like not a lot of help or support within that transition, and a couple of the team were really passionate about actually creating a guide for girls when they transition, because there's so few of them, but they don't get the information they need. You know, they turn up to prison and they don't know what's happening.
They just got to learn on the spot.
Yeah, they have to learn then and there.
That's good. That's really good.
Yeah, so a couple of the girls on the project actually have experience of that transition process, experiences of being in the secure estate and in the adult estate, and they were just really passionate about creating something for girls, pretty much. So we do plan to do a boys one as well. Okay. Don't worry, that's in the pipeline.
Don't leave out the boys.
Yeah. But yeah, so they were just really passionate about making it, and like it's incredible. And then again, same as with the care, we have a couple of care leavers that were just really passionate about creating the care one, which is again why it's turned out so well, because they use their own experiences within the guide to show
help people navigate.
Yeah, show other young people that even though you have these experiences and these experiences usually stack up against you, there's actually something positive at the end of the tunnel.
Yes. Without that.
In particular with the female one, we actually met a girl in that research work that we were doing who transitioned into the adult estate. And she actually used her story and said to us, we'll write you a piece, and in the piece there was a transition, like an actual transition case study. Which is really, I hate the word case study, it's her experience in it.
So like, tell us about the guides, the Young Justice Advisors guides.
Oh, you smashed it. Yes, well done. It's only taken a whole podcast. It's only taken a whole podcast.
Forgive me.
We tried.
Cool. So the Young Justice Advisors obviously noticed the gap in information like for young people across like care and justice. So they created an idea to come up with some resources. So the resources are aimed at young people and also practitioners as well to provide to young people, we hope.
Definitely. Make sure.
Make sure. Do your job. And there's three main ones. So the first one is the care guide, so your guide to the care system, which is focused on giving young people information and knowledge about their entitlements when it comes to being in care, like things that they didn't know, practical information like their benefits, rights, housing, rights, etc. Then we have your guide to the female estate. So your guide to the female estate is based on the fact that we did a piece of research with NHS England, and when we did our research, we noticed that girls just go up. So as soon as they turn 18, they just go straight into adult jail. Like that's it. There's no in between. There's no
young
offenders, nothing like that at all for them. And that's just purely based on the number of them that there are in the system, which is understandable. But a few of our girls, should I say, sorry, have experiences of the youth estate and the adult estate, and they were just really passionate about putting together a package, something that can help young women when they come into the estate for the first time. And it's actually ended up, although it was initially labelled as a transition guide, it's actually
like a full guide.
It's actually like a guide just for somebody coming into the female estate for the first time. So a young person that maybe has never been to prison for can be given to them to actually understand things. And then obviously coming off of transition, we met a girl whilst we was doing our work with NHS England.
That was your peer research, right?
No, this was something separate. Okay. Yeah, this was something separate. This was a different project that we were doing with NHS England, which was around the experiences of girls in custody. And she actually transitioned whilst we were working with her. We're still in contact with her today as well, which is amazing. The little purple visit and that, check up on her, see how she is. But she actually offered her experiences of transition and using the guide for the guide itself. So her experiences are actually in there, which is really cool. And something for her to keep as well, and to say that she had input in, even though she was in prison at the time, you know. And then our last one is called the Through the Gate. So this was designed kind of coming off of our peer research that we've done, in that there's not enough information for young people when they leave prison.
for like what is out there
for everything. So again, everything from benefits to housing to mindset to other people's experiences to what you can accomplish. So we've tried to kind of create that. Again, all of the guys are focused on lived experience. So all of the young advisors that have experiences of those areas have like spoken really candidly about their experiences in the hope that it will engage other young people at the same time. But we launched those resources. When did we launch them?
Last week, the 3rd? Was it the 3rd of February?
3rd of February? How do you know and I don't? Wow.
I was down the event, remember?
Yeah, I know, but that's what I'm saying. You know and I don't. That's terrible. Don't look at me like that.
No, was it was the 3rd.
It was the 3rd. It was.
Yeah.
So we launched them on the 3rd of Feb.
Yeah.
It was
they look great, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's cold. Sick.
Thank you. Again, it was all led pretty much by the young advisors, consulting with other young people, consulting with professionals in the sector, what information needs to be included. And I think we must have done, our poor designer must have done about 6 different versions before we got to the final one.
But that's how it takes sometimes, that's the process.
Literally.
And they look great, and I think they're going to do a lot of benefit.
Thank you.
Like, a lot of benefit.
Thank you.
From then, what's the next step now?
So the next step is another launch,
okay.
which is going to be happening in April.
Okay.
From our peer research.
Ooh, okay.
And
hopefully you come back and let us know about it.
I was going to say, we'll tell you more about that another time.
Yeah. All your information for the Young Justice Advisors is down below. Make sure you click that ASAP. Follow them on their socials as well.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So big thanks to Latrice. Big up yourself. Yeah. Mo.
Thanks,
my guy. And Nadine the GOAT.
Thank you.
G-O-A-T.
Come on.
Thank you very much for your taking time out and telling us about your lived experiences.
Thank you for having us.
And the good work that you do,
Thank you for having us.
Appreciate
and just an extra round of applause for them too for
No,
sharing
100%.
It's difficult. It's difficult to come sit in a room with some strangers
100%.
that the only time they've heard of is me bigging you guys up. Like, that's it.
100%.
So they've come and they've shared their experiences, and I'm grateful for them.
When you're ready to come back, the door's open.
No, definitely. Most likely be join that,
Yeah,
I'll drop the event link as well.
Yes, all of the links in the description.
description.
Make sure you click that, hit them,
yeah, man.
Check them out. Yeah, Xconversation.